All right, everybody, welcome back. It is All Hallows Eve, October 30th, 2018, day before Halloween, and it is 8:07 p.m. We are looking at current temperatures of the United States. We can see here the upper west is pretty cold, to say the least, and so is the northeast. Now, this is an actual system that is moving down into this area, and it's going to play a part in what we are going to talk about. We are expecting some severe weather, including some possible severe flooding in areas of Texas and Louisiana, and that's going to move right up through the Ohio River Valley. We've been talking about this for a few days now, but we have a little more data to support that. Still a little chilly in the northeast. This is the remnants of a down dip in the jet stream that allowed a lot of cold air into these areas. We had some snow in Maine, upper New York, and Vermont. More to come, guys, so be prepared. We have a severe weather threat that is approaching, as you could see here, the Texas area, Louisiana, Mississippi, possibly even Alabama if it shifts that way enough. But basically from the central to west central part of Texas all the way up the Ohio River Valley, at least for the next few weeks, is going to be experiencing this type of cycle according to the charts. So again, our friends in Texas and Louisiana, just be prepared because it's going to be a rough few weeks according to the charts that I am seeing now. We can see this bulk of lightning right here. This is the beginning of that front that is going to swoop down through Texas. The most severe the weather is going to be right around this area, and we can actually look at that through different charts here. This is the area of watch, at least for today. By tomorrow, I'm assuming that orange color and then the lighter yellows will be up in this area as this moves up. We have an upflow from the Gulf, which is aiding this in pushing up. So we have the downflow of the actual system itself coming this way. And then we have an upflow of warm air from the Gulf. And what that's going to do is that's going to cause the severe weather with the mix of the cool and the warm air over Texas. And then that's all going to get pushed up to the northeast for a possible second nor'easter in a week. Followed by two others according to the data, so we're going to look at that as well. So again, main topic right now, obviously Hurricane Oscar is out there. We'll talk about that. It's looking like it's moving away from us, which is a good thing, and that is because of this front that we are talking about, this down swoop. We had the uplift here, or the downlift rather, that allowed the cold air. That is moving west to east, and that is going to allow all this moisture to come right back up and start all over again. And that is where we need to start focusing on the temperatures here, because every time we get one of these nor'easter deals, depending on the cool air here, that makes the difference between massive amounts of snow or rain. So you could basically compare an inch of rain to about a foot of snow. When you're talking about the east side of the Great Lakes, that could be almost doubled. And again, I mention Watertown and Buffalo pretty often because they are often areas that get hit very hard because of the lake effect snow. And I'm mentioning this because we're going to be dealing with it very shortly. Each one of these nor'easters that I'm seeing is bringing more and more blue, which is snow, to the upper areas of the northeast states, and that's just going to continue to travel south as we enter winter more and more. So it is a bit concerning, but we still got to keep an eye on it and just make sure we know what we're talking about here. Accumulations, we did this yesterday as well. Still pretty similar, actually a little more it's showing as far as expected rainfall. Now this is from the 30th today through the 5th, so you can see the high spots here in Louisiana, those areas of Texas we spoke about, and then straight up the Ohio River Valley, Kentucky, Tennessee, and then straight up almost into western Pennsylvania, and you can only expect that this is going to move up. And then right after that, you could see in the upper west here, this is that second set that we're going to be dealing with, and it's going to kind of go with the same flow. It's going to flow down in this direction, get caught up, possibly do the same thing to Texas, and then roll right back up here, and then followed by a third one if all the charts stay the way they're showing. Now this little animation gives you a better idea of the moisture I'm talking about. You could see at the beginning of the frame here, this is moving down, and then as it gets into Texas, you can see how it's blue here. That's cold weather, possibly snow, and then as it gets into this area, it's mixing with that upflow of warm air from the Gulf we just talked about, and that's why you're seeing that red show up there, and that's that severe area we just showed you right here. That's why that area is highlighted. You can compare all these charts and see how they come up with these, you know, the data and the stuff they provide for us. So there's no doubt about it. Texas, you need to prepare for some flooding. The rivers, they are already starting to watch. I had that river chart up for this video, but it seems to be not working properly at the moment, so I'll save that for next video. But you can see here, basically the point is that this system is going to move down. It's going to come underneath Texas and then be pushed up by the Gulf warm air, and that's what's going to cause that nor'easter. We're going to get that 9 symbol again and that spin, and then we're going to have a lot of moisture up all the East Coast states. And that's just one system. Remember that, guys. We're only talking about one here, and that's what I'm going to show you right now before we get into Oscar. I'll move this to current time. Let's see, where are we? We are on the 30th, so that's right here. Okay, so this starts on the 31st tomorrow. So as we follow this, you can see the system right here. We can see some snow in there, and as it moves down to Texas, it's going to turn into rain because of the warm air from the Gulf, and then you're going to watch that thing go right up the East Coast. There it is right there. That's going to be the severe threat going into the day after tomorrow. Is going to be the most severe of it from Texas through Louisiana, and then moving up the Ohio River Valley. Then once we move into the 1st and the 2nd, you can see how it kind of breaks off and moves right up into the northeast. So this one may not be as much of a nor'easter type deal. As you can see, right at the 3rd is when we start seeing those severe rainfalls in the northeast areas of Pennsylvania. We got West Virginia right there on the 3rd. And then later on in the 3rd, going into the 4th, that's where you see the severe weather in southern areas of New York. We got Massachusetts in there, Long Island, and then you could see that band that goes right through Vermont, New Hampshire, and then up and through Maine. So that is that one system. Now let's look into the future. So once that clears out, as we move into the 4th, we could see a little patch coming in this way. Severe for Louisiana on the 4th, more rain. And that's why when we show this chart here, this is an accumulation over 5 days. So when we're looking at this chart, this is within that 5-day range. So that's why that accumulation is so high. This is a second system adding rain on top of what already is going to fall in the next day and a half. So this would be considered nor'easter number 2. The low pressure is a bit high, so it may not be as effective towards the East Coast, which is a good thing. Could use a break before the winter actually starts. But last but not least, when we get into the 12th, which is about almost 2 weeks away, if this stays true, this could be that nor'easter that really affects the coasts here. You can see the low pressure system right off in the water, which is always what you don't want to see. That means it continues to strengthen and stay strong, and it's going to keep churning that water and wind into the coasts. But at the same time, now you're seeing those blue colors even getting into South New York, so that's all temperature based. That's going to be snow. Now, again, I'm not guaranteeing that this is going to be the situation. This is just the data we have available. But if we back this up, we can clearly see 3 significant systems that we have coming up in the near future, one of which is almost guaranteed because it's already being monitored and expected, which is going to be basically starting tomorrow night, probably after Halloween celebrations and stuff like that, overnight. Halloween into the 1st is when we're going to see the most severe weather through Texas and Louisiana. You can see that right there, and that will be the one. Then we have the 2nd set come through up into the northeast, and then if everything stays according to the data now, we have a 3rd to expect by the 12th, which we also mentioned yesterday. So it looks like it's just going to be one of those conveyor belt deals for a while. Hopefully that's not going to be the situation all winter. If it is, then it's going to be a long, long winter. Really quick, we could check out the current satellite imagery. We're not going to see the future part of this. This is going to bring us up to date, but you can kind of see where this moisture came from. Some of it comes down from the west, some of it comes over from the Pacific, and then you'll see it begin to mix with the Gulf warm air that comes up through Texas, which will keep this a rain deal for Texas and more than likely a severe rain threat. So right after frame 200 here, you see a little bit of a buildup over the Great Lakes, and then in the next couple hours, you're going to see this start to really accumulate as it passes through Texas. So tomorrow we'll really be able to see this building up and then moving up through Louisiana. So once that's done, we'll be able to move on to that second nor'easter that we've been talking about. So as we go, we are talking about Oscar, which still, as of right now, is no threat to land. We could see it here on our Doppler chart. I'm going to back it up and just show you how the pressure from the U.S. that's moving west to east has done its job and kept Oscar away from us. Here's that cold front we just dealt with, and you could see as I move forward, you got this little wall here, and then this is the jet stream front, and you could see exactly how they work. It's almost like a force field. You'll see as this moves into the ocean, it's going to catch this hurricane, Oscar, and it's going to push it out to the Atlantic, which is what we expected. So that's a good thing. We can move forward there, and you can see how now it's moving in a northern direction rather than in towards the west, towards the U.S., which we never wanted to see. And now we can expect Oscar to either expand and break up and move up under Nova Scotia and then towards the UK and Ireland. Hopefully it breaks up before it hits that area because it is still a compact storm. A lot of moisture, a lot of wind. It's still considered a hurricane as of right now. So Oscar, again, not a threat to the U.S. Real quick look at the Pacific. We have 3 invests in the Pacific. We had 2 yesterday, and now we have a third, so we're going to continue to watch those. Again, I don't think they will have a threat to Hawaii or anything near California or the Baja region. It's just getting too cold out there for these to really form, but you never know, so we do got to keep an eye on them no matter what. Finally, a couple more things I want to talk about. We did have that big earthquake. I believe it was in, yes, Greece. I have it pulled up right here. So Greece is dealing with a major seismic event at the moment. I'm going to do this in a separate video, but I just wanted to show you all the aftershocks going on in Greece. And then not too far away, guys, I pulled up Google Earth for this. So we have Greece here, or no, that's Venice, I'm sorry. Let's get to the right spot. Greece here is where we had those big earthquakes. And not too far away in Venice, we have some major flooding going on, like catastrophic flooding due to a few strong storms that passed through the area. I believe I have an article pulled up. Let's see here. Yes, I do. Death toll rises in Italy. Most of Venice flooded. So I didn't get a chance to cover a lot of this. But as I look into it more, I will probably make a separate video on it. But just check out this picture right here. They had some severe flooding going on, a lot of damage, a lot of cleaning up to do, and just not a good situation. So 2 areas pretty close to each other dealing with very severe situations, especially these earthquakes. These are pretty rare to have in Greece, especially 6.8. It actually came up as a 7.2. Surprise, surprise, they lowered it again. So we'll keep an eye on these areas as well. And I believe that is it for now. So yes, Oscar, non-threat to the U.S. We don't have to worry about Oscar, at least for the time being. I don't see anything going on as far as a shift towards the west, and that's a good thing. So main concern right now is the severe threat in Texas and the possibility of these nor'easters that we're going to be dealing with, which we will touch base on tomorrow. All right, guys, that's it for now. Thank you for paying attention. Thank you for staying tuned. We will have another video tomorrow for Halloween. I hope everyone has a safe Halloween if we don't talk to you until the evening. It was actually really nice today in the Northeast for once. I actually enjoyed it, got the yard done. Caroline and I wish you all the best, and we will talk very soon. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.